yeah. Get your hands up, yeah. To the floor, yeah.
Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. We're here for another one.
What's up with it?
Yo. And another one. Yo. You're tuned into the episode of
the 30 Plus Podcast.
That was pretty. Yes, indeed. Well, we talk love, life, and lessons after 30. It's your girl, Nika X. The X is for excited.
Ooh.
A.K.A. the Pink Starburst General, A.K.A. Nick Millie.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Fly Since Birth, a.k.a. Microphone Mike, a.k.a. Fly the Flyster. No, I had a new one. I forgot it. Oh, a.k.a. Fly the Fleerlet.
You need to practice that for you come on here with this.
Because what was the other one before that? Fly the Flyster? That was a new one.
Yeah, that's old school. I was watching some old
And
stuff.
just leave it there.
No.
Because you can't even pronunciate.
Fly the Fearless.
That's what you're trying to say?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
It's your girl, Miss Cookie Baby.
Please
You
say
said
the
a
cookie.
baby.
No. Okay, I was just messing up today.
You messed up your own intro. Don't mess up mine.
I was trying to give you the same love.
Nah.
What?
Baby. We okay over here. Rosetta Stone been good to us.
All right.
At this third for this podcast where we talk love, life, and lessons after 30. Before we get there, Fly, do you by chance have a 30 plus thesaurus word for us today?
Oh, no.
No? That's okay.
I've been messing up enough.
Okay. Well, I thought you was going to try to redeem yourself with that one, but that's okay.
I had one, but I keep forgetting them, and I don't write them down.
That's
it's
okay.
like I think in my head, oh, I'm going to say this. And then, like, when I get there, I forget the whole word.
Well, this is to help you, so we want you to be great. So
That's right, baby. Walk it through.
put it in your notes for your phone.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start putting a note every time I ever think of a word, or if I have a trouble. See? Oh, you
Text
know what?
yourself.
It might could be the, what's that stuff?
We don't know. We asking you, baby. Y'all pray for Fi.
Yeah. I might be inebriated.
That's the word you want to
word,
use?
yeah,
Inebriated. What's the
yeah.
definition of that?
What I am right now.
And that is?
No.
So when you're not in your right mind.
That's not.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Y'all look
How's
at
your energy? And I think you already answered that with.
What? My energy is cool. I'm chilling.
If you had a color, what would it be? I don't know. Give me
I don't
something.
know.
we
You
trying
know
to
what?
get it out of him.
I know, right? I don't feel like I have a color today. You know what? I feel like it would be yellow because I feel like on the inside it's like sunshine. I feel like right now my theme song would be what's that girl name? Lotto, Sunshine on Me.
Yeah.
Featuring Childish
Sunshine
Gambino and Lil
on Me.
Wayne. Yeah. That's how I feel. You know? Like it's just I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we can't play that anymore because they'll take our
Yeah.
YouTube sound. But that's okay.
I
That was
do like
enough for
it,
you.
though.
Okay.
Sunshine, sing it how you was about to sing.
And baby, you got to pay for that.
Cookie was about to sing it.
You already had a free consultation.
All right.
Anything else of that, we need a retainer.
Go ahead. How you feeling?
Accomplished.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I do. I feel accomplished.
That's what's up. That's like a blue star color, huh? What color you feel?
All of them, to be
Like
honest.
a golden star. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's all of them. It's not really like a set color.
Oh, she's feeling rainbowish.
Not rainbowish. I'll say fluid.
Okay.
Okay, fluid.
Mhm.
All right.
That should have been your word today. Nick, how you feeling, girl?
I'm feeling like a sky blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that? Like chill, relax.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Chilling.
As you should. See, everybody calm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's rare. All three of us.
Well, we'll see when we get into this topic.
Girl.
If that's going to remain the same.
Right. I might get heated by the end.
Why?
You sound like you're going to be heated from the beginning. Just we'll get into it. So, again, welcome to the 30 Plus Podcast, the space where we talk love, life, and lessons after 30. Today, we're diving into a topic that stirs up a lot of opinions. Courtship after 30. Is it still a requirement or is this thought process outdated? At this stage in life, we've grown. We know what we want, or at least we think we do. But does that mean traditional courtship still has a place? Should we be expecting it, demanding it, or are we evolving past it? Let's get into it. Mm-hmm. So grab your tea, your wine, whatever helps you get through this episode.
You're blunt.
Settle in.
Like we need to read the traditional the meaning. What's the definition? Yeah, somebody pull up the Webster definition so we can know what this courtship meaning. So we can see if it's even like applies to today's world. You know.
Well, we know a lot of things are unorthodox today, but there are still some
things that should happen a certain way.
Yeah. So according to Oxford. Courtship is a period during which a couple develop a romantic relationship, especially with a view to marriage.
Okay.
Y'all heard it? Marriage.
I'm glad you said that.
All right.
I'm glad you said that.
Hold on. There's a B clause to that.
Okay.
Behavior designed to persuade someone to marry or develop a romantic relationship to lead to one.
Okay.
So all roads lead to marriage.
Okay. At least they should.
Exactly.
I think that's what we're kind of,
So no, that means everybody does not need to be courted. Because all roads do not lead to marriage.
But there should be, and that's the problem. You're dating people that you don't see yourself with, and I see how you tried to do that.
That was good.
That was good.
That was mild. I thought he was going to go a little deep. You did good. Stay right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick. Rebuttal.
Heard you.
Oh, he go too far. Go.
And that's part of the problem. This is some of the things that we're going to get into today. So what does courtship look like to you now versus your 20s? Or in your 30s? Younger 30s.
Right. Because we at the end of the road, like boys to men.
Yeah, when you hear courtship, what immediately comes to mind?
Me, I don't know. Like when I hear courtship, I just immediately feel like you're not the one for me. That's just how I feel. Once those words come out your mouth, I know for a fact you're not for me.
Fix it, Lord.
My wife would never tell me that I need to court her. That's not a thing to me. Like telling me what I should do when I just met you is already a red flag. I don't know you and you already trying to tell me what to do with my life. It's crazy. Like that's crazy to me. I do not know you. How are you trying to control how I'm going to approach my life? Like, no. So that's why when I hear the word courtship or court me, it's an automatic no for me. I know and that I do not want this person.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Or not really a question. Yeah, I'm gonna ask a question. Why do you perceive it that way? Because it could be, you know how like you're upfront. You're when you're dating or trying to date or whatever you want to call it, you're upfront. You're like, hey, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. So why can't you view that as the same? Like, hey,
I know that's how I view it. So once you tell me, oh, I need to be courted, okay, I'll respect that, and I will not talk to you because I do not want to court you. That's not how I look at it. I understand what the word means, no, but I don't want that.
Remove that. Listen to what I'm saying. I need you to listen to hear and not to respond. Right, but don't be so ready to respond so you could process the information and respond accordingly. If she's telling you basically like, okay, let's say y'all exchange numbers, right? Y'all having y'all first conversation. You're telling her, hey, my favorite color, whatever, I like this, I don't eat this, and these are the type of women I like or don't like or whatever. This is my goal. I want to be a husband. I don't want kids, whatever your conversation is. And then it's her turn to go. And she's like, okay, well, I'm dating with intent. I expect the man to court me. That's not telling you what to do. That's setting my expectations. So we are not wasting time. So that's what I'm asking you. Why don't you view it that way? Because you want her to perceive that. Because you basically telling them what to do. If that's the logic you want to use, you're doing the same thing.
I'm telling what I'm going to do. I'm not telling them what they have to do. It's a difference. I'm telling them what I want and like. I'm not telling them what they have to do. You don't have to do none of this. You don't have to talk to me. But to me, just the word is a trigger word. I hear the word court already in my head. I know that you have assumptions of how you think this is about to go. You think this has to go this way, and if it doesn't go this way, then it's not going to be right, because by saying you have to court me, that means you have a certain level of direction that you feel like this has to go for it to have the end result that you want.
And what's the wrong with that? Because you have that same expectation.
But mine is not hindered by the laws of...
Laws of what, though?
Look, she didn't give you now law. It's not law, man.
Courtship is like a law to women. It's like...
It's not. I'm a woman.
Well, I'm telling you right now, the way they act is like it's a law. Like,
yeah, you're not finna be sleeping with me and we don't.
I get it. That's what I'm saying. So it's still a law to women. Like you're enforcing it that, yes, it's a law to you. That,
and what's wrong with that?
Well, there's nothing wrong
After
with it.
30.
It's like, it's nothing wrong with it, but I don't listen to laws. So it doesn't work for me. So if you're telling me you live by this law this certain way, it just doesn't work for me.
Sure you do. Do you stop your car at a red light?
Sometimes. Not every time. I will run a red light. If there's nobody there, it's the middle of the night.
Do you look after your shoulder after you do it?
No, I look both ways before I cross and keep going.
Then that's the law, because that's what they tell you to do.
No, I'm just making sure I don't get hit. Like, that's it.
And that's what she's doing. By George, he got it.
She's still gonna get hit, but that's not the point. That's not the like.
Finish your logic, sugar.
Regardless, my logic when it comes to courtship.
You can't even get the word out. That's part of your problem.
That's how much I hate it.
In order to understand
it. Like it doesn't even flow off my tongue because that's how much I despise that word. Like I don't like to hear that word.
That's because you haven't met your wife.
No, my wife would never ask me to court her.
She might not ask you, but in her mind, she's going to be looking for a courtship.
Okay, well, that's different than asking me to court you. Like, okay, to me, first of all, courtship is like you have a certain way you want this to go. Without women, 90% of the women that I've talked to who've never mentioned courtship, I have gone way longer with them than I have with the woman who asks for courtship every time.
They didn't ask for it because
they didn't ask for it because they knew that's just what the goal was. There's no need to put parameters on what we're doing. It's if I know I'm talking to you, I've already told you from the jump what it is, what I want. You already told me from the jump what it is. There's no reason for you to say, well, you have to court me this way or you have to do that. Literally.
Well, we have an episode about making your intent clear, and that's what she's doing. Every woman doesn't do that. Every woman doesn't, like you said, 90% of the women you have went further with didn't use that word because I'm going to be honest with you. They were so infatuated with you to where they didn't want to trigger you or didn't want to set a boundary on you. But I don't care how you feel. I'm going to say what I want to say what I need. And you're the same way. You're the same way.
I don't think that I do that. I feel like...
No, you do it in a way to where it's not rude. You do it in a way to where it's not harsh, but you are honest. You are transparent. You are upfront. And that's all they doing now. Because you are an alpha man, it might be perceived differently because you have that mentality like, don't tell me what to do, girl. I know what to do.
I mean, that is very true.
But you got to look at, too, it could have nothing to do with you and everything from what they've come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just like you. I don't remember of you being in this instance, but I feel like every man has been in an instance where they had to kind of think for a woman at some point in their life.
Yeah, every time you with a woman, you have to think for a woman. What are you talking about? Literally, every time a man is with a woman, he has to think for the woman. Regardless if they're in a courtship or if they're just talking, he's going to have to think for her. It's just how it goes. Because 9 out of 10 times when a woman is with a man, half of their brain don't work. It's just what happens.
That's crazy.
They shut down and let him do everything. They expect for him to pay, so they're not thinking about no money or what's going on. They expect for him to protect, so they're not worried about who's in their vicinity. They expect for him to do everything, so half of their brain just stops working. So
then there are women who don't get that treatment, right? There are women who has had to be opposite, where the man don't know how to do anything, so. That's maybe where she's coming from. Like, so does the word dating with intent bother you?
No, dating intent doesn't bother me because I feel like that's what we're doing if we say that. But it's just the word courtship. When I hear that word, it automatically
just grinds your gears.
yeah, it triggers me. It triggers me because I feel like you have set expectations of how you think this go, and it means you're forcing me to do or act a certain way so that you can get what you want at the end of the day. I feel like any woman who's ever asked me for courtship has been, I don't want to say selfish, but I feel like they're more focus on what they get out of it than versus what we are going to get out of it. It's more of they want this for them. They're not worried about how this is going to go, how this should go, or any of that, because they only expect it to go the way that they want it to go. And that's from women who have asked for courtship. Any woman who I feel like says they're intentional dating and be like, I'm dating with the intention of marriage. They don't say you have to court me. They letting you know, like, hey, I do want to get married from this. So that's how they move. You don't have to move a certain way. I feel like when women who ask for courtship, literally who use these terms, they expect it to go this way. And if it's not going that way, then they feel like they're not being courted because you're not doing the things that they expect to be done when they're being pursued for that. And I think that's the problem. Like, I have a friend who just sent me a message talking about she's teaching dudes how to court her properly. You can't teach a man how to court you properly. A man's going to court you or talk to you the way that he wants to because he's the one who's investing everything into it. That's
not true.
How is it not?
So me being a woman that has dated, I have been able to teach men how to court me properly. I don't say court me. It's understood. But, for example, we all have different love languages that are primary, right? So as a woman who my primary love language is acts of service, a man whose primary love language is gifting or physical touch, I've dated those type of men. And they, for the life of me, didn't understand why when you buy me the moon, I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm appreciative, but it doesn't hold as much weight as, I don't know, you bringing me a pack of gummy bears after I mentioned there's some new gummy bears. You went and got it before I could. Or you're sitting there, how we talked about different things like men like the back of their head rub more, driving or whatever the situation is. So me having conversations, because when somebody, like you said, when somebody wants to, they will. So those men who wanted to date me wanted to know, what is it? What type of woman am I? So at that point, when I'm discussing what I don't like and what I do like, it's a fine line because some people will pretend to be that, but for the most part, they use the comprehension to change the way they are in order to court me. Like the first thing I say, usually all I have to say is this: hey, I don't have daddy issues, whatever that means to you. And most of them pick up what I'm putting down, meaning it is not anything you can do that, I can't do for myself. I don't have a void. I don't need you to run me. I don't need any of that. I am submissive, but every man can't lead. And so it's not wrong for her to say that she's teaching men how to court her, because some men don't know. Some men never had that example.
If you gotta teach a man to court you, he don't want you. That's what I keep. That's the main thing that women don't understand.
No.
Yes, it is. Because a man, yes, it is.
There's different dynamics. For example, there are men who grew up without a dad, who grew up not seeing an example of love. You know what I mean? They just grew up with a single mom. I have a friend who grew up with a single mom who never had a boyfriend.
Any man that wants you go figure out how to love you,
and that comes with a conversation. And that man is happily married and learned how to court through his wife. His current wife, and they now have a child. Everything is happy going. She was the opposite. She grew up. That's not.
She taught him how.
She didn't teach him. She gave him the space to learn.
You just said
but
that.
Teaching is not verbal. Okay. Teaching is not always verbal. Teaching is just creating a space for you to make the mistakes and learn from it.
That means you learn from it however you learn.
Correct, but it's not verbal. You are expecting it to be a dictator. It's not that. It's not a dictation. I'm not saying, hey, don't buy me that flower. I prefer this. No, that's not that. That's him trial and error.
Which is any relationship that you
Which is life.
Right. No matter how good you are, because each connection teaches you different things.
Exactly.
And just because the intent doesn't always negate impact. So just because you intend on what you're thinking is courtship, she may not be receiving it as courtship. So that's why communication also matters. And then also intention, which is another form of courtship. If you're courting me, yeah, those words may not come out of my mouth, but if you're showing that you're being intent, or there's intention behind what you're doing, then yeah, I can receive that as being another form of courtship. So you just don't like to hear the word.
That is facts. The term of it all annoys me. Like I said, I just feel like anyone who uses that word put themselves in a different box. Like, that's how I feel it. Like, I feel like women who say the word court, they need to be courted or need this. They want something. They're expecting something. And I think that's what I don't like. Like, I don't feel like no one should expect nothing from nobody. Like,
so that word just has a negative connotation, because you said you're okay with women saying dating me with intent. That's an expectation too. They expect you to date a certain way. It's the same thing. They're cousins.
But I feel like, they're cousins, but dating with intent means you don't see a way that this has to go. You just know what you want it to end with.
Courtship don't mean you
yes,
see
it
a way.
does. Courtship means you want to be taken out on dates. You want this to go this way. This has to be this. This has to be that.
Ain't that dating with intent too?
No, it's not dating with intent. It's like you both just know at the end of the day what you want, and however y'all get there, that's fine. Courtship is not. It's more of a dictatorship and way of the way it should go.
All it is a
where did you get that
progressive
from?
word.
Could you read that word? The definitions again?
Because
that's just what it is. That's the way that women take it. Like,
matter of fact, let me see a synonym.
Hi, two women here, and that's not what that necessarily means.
I'm telling you, that's what it's meant from every woman that has ever used that word with me.
So here it is. I did one better. The previous educator in me had to look up synonyms: romance, love affair, going out, going steady, and
Courtship.
dating. I'm gonna say it again. Dating.
Yeah, that's courtship. So that's what I'm saying.
So what's wrong with that's dating?
Dating.
It's courtship.
Dating and courtship, it's a synonym.
They're synonyms.
That's not the same.
Synonymous means they're the same, just a different way.
They have the
It's
similar.
like the evolution.
It means
so, for example, we don't say horse and carriage, right?
Exactly.
We say stagecoach. This is the same thing.
No, stagecoach and horse carriage is a little different. The stagecoach is more solid and compact. Versus a stagecoach.
The evolution of the
word. All I'm saying is it's similar. Similar means they have things in common, but they do not mean the exact same thing. So, yes.
That's not what a synonym is.
Yes,
Synonym
it is.
a different word that has the same meaning. That's literally the definition of a synonym. English 101.
Okay, well, dating and courtship doesn't have the same meaning. Look up dating.
They do. I just looked at the synonym.
So what bothers you?
What is it? Did you have a previous relationship where that girl daddy told you to court my child and you was mad? I mean, because that's what it's given. It's an anger space. It's an anger space.
Maybe the word itself is outdated, but the action word is still very much alive and well, in my opinion.
I hate it. I hate the
And
word
that's
courtship,
fine.
courting.
But we're trying to get
Okay, so use another word, but are you not doing the same actions?
No.
What are you doing? Besides wasting these women's time.
They wasting mine.
Clearly.
That's what it is. That's what I think it is. Any woman that I feel like I've had to court, I feel like it's been a waste of time.
So any women you had to date, you wasted your time?
No, because the women that I just dated, they didn't waste my time. We're still cool. We could talk.
But are y'all together?
No.
Time
it's
wasted.
Different. It's not time wasted.
If
because
the goal was to be together and it didn't happen, time wasted.
Time is only wasted when it's not a meaningful connection.
Okay, so
when
what made it
when
meaningful?
You got nothing out of it, when you just did something to
But
do
that's
something
still courting.
because I courted you because that's the way that you wanted to be courted or talked to. So yes, my time was wasted because I followed your directions and rules on how you want to be talked to and approached. So yes, I feel like my time was wasted because I tried to court you instead of me trying to get to know you and understand you. I tried to go by this outdated word termship.
Well, I wish we
So
could-
did you change the word or did they change the word?
They changed the word. I didn't change nothing.
And that's what we're trying to understand. How did they change the word? Because your examples you gave me it still was the same way with the women that said they're dating you with intent. It's the same, literally the same blueprint.
Now, I will agree with you where, time isn't wasted if you learn something from it.
Mm-hmm.
So that part I understand. However, I'm talking about, it sounds like you just have an issue with the word, not the action itself.
I have an issue with the word and the actions that supposed to come out of it.
Okay, well, walk me through this. So when a woman has told you in the past that they want you to court them, what did they say? What came behind that?
A set of rules on how to court them and what the way they feel like it should go.
So they literally said, I want you to court me. And in this courtship, I would like X,
Yeah.
Y, and
Roses
Z.
on Wednesdays, steak on
Basically,
Tuesday.
no, it's
Because
not
help
like
me
this.
understand, because I don't.
It's more of, okay, well, you have to court me. You have to take me on dates, and then we have to do this, and then maybe this can happen, and then that can happen.
Is this before sex?
It hasn't. I mean,
I'm
obviously,
asking.
courtship is before sex, ain't it?
Courtship is dating, period, whatever that looks like for you.
It's the action is an entirety because the main goal is marriage.
Yeah,
Well,
so whatever that looks
So
like
that's not
for
the
you.
courtship. Sex can be included in the courtship,
Correct.
but the whole courtship is not. You do this for sex.
I feel like any woman who has ever told me anything about courtship, that's how they look at it. They don't.
So
they
you
look
dealt
at
with
it-
women that didn't understand the definition either.
Maybe that's what
There
it
we
is.
go.
Yeah, that's what
That's
that
what we
is.
was trying to
Yeah.
get to.
Well, all I'm saying, any woman that has ever asked me to court them, that's what I'm saying. The ones who literally use the word, the ones who say this, who live by this, they like even like the text message I just showed you. Like this woman expects you to do things this way. If you do not do them this way, you are not courting her. That's why
And
I have
that's
a problem
her.
with
That's
it.
her prerogative.
I understand
around.
that,
So
and
now
that's
you
why I don't
know
like
that ain't your
courting.
ministry.
Yeah,
So
that's
they
why-
abstaining from sex until you do certain things.
That has nothing to do with the sex, but
I'm
yes,
asking.
it does. All of them, every woman who has said that about courting, yes, they definitely say there's no sex because you have to court me. You have to do this, this, and that
Before you get the
can
gato.
even. That's even before that. Before you can even do this and that, or before they would do this and that. That's what I'm saying. What any woman that I've met who uses or lives by the term courtship, that's how I'm looking at it. By the women who live by this term, who uses this term, who expects you to follow this type of living. Those type of women, I know from a jump, I would never talk to because you expect something to go a certain way when life is not like that. Like you can live by that rule, but there's other rules you don't live by either. So don't expect me to live by your courtship rules or that word when you don't want to live by my rules or my word. That's
It's not a give and take.
exactly. Anybody who, like I said, use courtship have their rules and things. For example, just the girl who texted me, a guy asked for her Instagram. They were talking on Hinge. He asked for her Instagram instead of her number. And she feel like he's not trying to court her because he didn't ask for her number instead first.
Well, as a woman who been through that, and I think Nick can attest because we've discussed that before when we were out in these streets on the sidewalk. She's on the sidewalk, I was in the streets. That did raise a red flag, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't know if you ever gave yours out. I think you stood firm on your no, but I tried it just to see the opposite end of the sword. Maybe I was being overprotective. No, that baby stayed on my Instagram. We never left social media. Because then at that point, you're an opportunist. What you trying?
That's
What
what
are
some
you trying to
people
do?
say, but then you have to. There's the new generation who only give you their Instagram.
Well,
who
I'm
don't
sorry,
give
I'm
you
not a
their
part of
number.
that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, if
40
I'm
years.
dating someone, you asking for my Instagram over my number, I'm already not taking you seriously anyway. That's off top. And now if you're doing both, now say you ask me for my number, a couple of conversation ends, hey, you got Instagram, social media, and I don't,
But you want
I
to send
wouldn't
me
mind
reels or whatever. Yeah.
reels, or you just want to get because sometimes you can tell a person's life by their social media too. So if you want to do another background check, if that's another fail-proof plan, cool. But if you're just asking and it stays in social media, I'm not really taking you seriously.
I mean, I'm not saying this. I'm just telling y'all, 90% of women don't think like y'all.
Well, you haven't surveyed 90% of women.
I
Just
would
say the
say I
90% of
would.
women you dealt with.
Yeah.
Like you did the first time.
No. What I'm saying is the random women that's in these streets, from me asking and my homies,
Right. That's what I said. You dealt with your
And they're probably not
population.
taking you seriously either, because if I
I
rather
ask
give
for
you,
their number regardless.
but if I rather give you my social media than my
I don't
phone
wanna talk
number,
to you.
I'm not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
that's,
mean,
so that's a fail
but
away
that's
from a
still-
woman
But
standpoint.
that's what they're asking for. It doesn't matter of what that is.
That's a problem from both sides, then, male and
Yes.
female. Because again, as a woman, if I rather give you my social media over my number, I'm already not taking you
Well, if
seriously.
every dude,
LinkedIn.
but what I'm saying is, if that's what women doing now, regardless, so now men are just asking for your Instagram instead of your number anyway.
And do what with it? You just want to look?
No,
Are you in
just
my
because
DM?
That's
Well, you already in my DM if we're on a dating site?
okay. That's how I look at it. That's how y'all look at it. But that's not how everybody else is looking.
But what
at
is
it.
the
And that's
age
what-
group?
It doesn't matter. See, that's what I keep telling
It does, 'cause you're
you're trying
brought
to
up-
make stuff be
No.
in your
You
lane
brought
and nobody
up-
else's. You
well,
have to
I'm
look in the
speaking from my
environment.
lane.
Well, I'm speaking from
and I am speaking from the environment because you got to remember, I have 6 of you that are blood tied to me, and
That's
we
okay.
cover from the 20s to the 50s, right? And in the constant amongst all my brothers is when they want you, they want you. The constant among all of them is They do court. They date. They whatever verb you want to use.
That's them.
But hold on. You mentioned that you brought up the generation because you said y'all got to realize the women in this generation. So that's why we started probing and asking more. If you're dealing with women in this generation, which is not none of our generation, that's a whole nother ball game.
Because like I said, there's like a 48-year-old woman out here living like she's young.
That's not this generation. Looking young and being young are two different things. We all look young, but we ain't 20 nothing.
I mean, how long is the generation? How many years is the generation?
This is not us. This Gen Z.
Anyway, all I'm saying is in the today's times, let me say that in today's times, it doesn't matter what age, whatever. In today's time, no matter the age of the woman, the man, 90% of any time, women are trying to give you their social media before their number. And then they say, let's talk on there first. That's why men are now just asking for that instead of asking for the number, because 9 out of 10 times, the woman's going to try to give you her Instagram.
I've never ran into a man in person that asked me for my handle. It was only men that were on dating sites. If it wasn't a business transaction, like men who wanted to do business with me.
But exactly. So that's the rules of courtship right there. They ask for
an email. They don't even ask. I never ran into it, but.
Well, that's just how courtship is now. Men have that problem, women have that problem. The same way, maybe they're not. Don't take me serious. That has nothing to do with me asking for your number and you offering me your Instagram.
It does. We just told you I should do that.
That's their level of intent. That's what I'm saying. As a woman, period. If it's somebody that they really interested in talking to and they feel like something is there, not to say it can't grow, but their first line of defense is going to be the phone number. If I'm giving you my Instagram, this is just speaking as a woman for me. If I give you my Instagram over my number, I'm not really interested, at least at that moment.
But that's not how y'all think, because the same girl who sent me that message, she's the opposite. She's going to give you her number and block you before she would ever give you her Instagram. She doesn't want to give you her Instagram
because there's no harm, no fault.
I know, but she doesn't want to give you that regard. She'd rather give you her number and just block you than give you her Instagram.
I'm with her.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody is different, and it's trying to be made out as there's one way that there's not.
It's definitely not one way, however, but.
So there's no right way if there's not one
okay, so
way.
there's no problem with courtship either then, right?
Yes, I never said it was a problem. You
literally started the show off with that there's a problem with your courtship. We're talking about you. We're not talking about all the men. That's the point of this podcast. We're not talking about all the men in the world because we haven't surveyed all the men in the world.
Or all the
I'm
women.
Talking about Fly in this moment. And Fly does not like courtship.
I don't
because
like the word
Fly doesn't
courtship.
like you don't like the word courtship because you don't like to be held to a certain standard. And that's what pisses you off, because you get mad when a woman tells you you're not gonna come over here with this and this.
That's how I feel. You're not gonna do.
And you also have the option to tell her to move around because she's not going to do this, and she does the same thing.
Exactly.
Potato.
Exactly, but I don't force anything on anybody. That's the difference.
What's forcing you? Because she's telling you what she's looking for.
You're telling me I have to do this to
you. She's not telling you.
That's forcing.
And you know you don't have to.
It's forcing.
Is she pulling your arm with a gun saying do it?
You're trying to force me into a way of a behavior that
that you don't want to do. Why? Exactly. Because you don't want to do it, right?
Yes, because I don't want to do it.
Okay, then. So why waste her time?
No,
because if it's somebody that you wanted to do it with, that wouldn't even be a conversation.
That's not true. And there's women that I've wanted to talk to, and they said that I had to court them. And then every time I went to do that, it's just not natural to me. When you tell me I have to court you,
taking somebody on a date is not natural.
Not when I feel like I have to.
Buying somebody flowers if you think they're nice, not natural.
No, not if you. I said if you like. I'm talking about being forced to do some stuff.
How's it forcing?
How are you forcing? Are they using your card? Like, what is the force?
And she's saying Wednesday. You go out every Saturday.
Is she at your house?
Where's the force come in?
Forcing you is basically telling me that I'm not going to be perceptive to anything you do unless you do it this way.
That's not a force. That's telling you her preference.
Okay,
and you have the right to say no, just like she got the right to tell you no.
Exactly.
There are human rights on both ends. It's not a force.
Well,
if you tell me, hey, Cook, I ain't dealing with this. Like, we know you have a thing with women with kids, right? We know that. You're not forcing anybody who has kids to drop their kids off or whatever. Hey, look, that's not my thing. That lady has the opportunity. One, you told her up front, she know what she dealing with. If she continue to entertain you, knowing this is what you don't want, that's on her. You have the same choice. You're just upset that somebody have the nerve to have standards and give them to you.
No,
that's what it is.
That you have the nerve to think that I have to do something like this to conversate with you. To do, I don't know how to explain it to where it will make sense to you. But at the end of the day,
I really wish you tried because I really want to understand you.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna understand me because you have a firm belief in what you believe. I believe in everything, so I feel like I don't have a certain.
I'm open to conversation. I don't have a firm belief, but I don't think a woman is wrong for telling you what she's looking for in a connection. That's my thing.
I understand that.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong for what you believe in. If you don't want to court a woman, then don't court a woman. I'm just trying to figure out how do we get to the next level without a form of courtship.
I mean, and that's the thing. You get to that level when you're not trying to box yourself into something. Like,
okay. How's it?
So you feel boxed using courtship?
Yes. If you tell me that means it's like.
So again, you have an issue with the word, not the action.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an issue with the word and the action that comes with the word. I don't have an issue with another word that is similar.
Okay,
to that,
dating.
Similar. See, dating
intentionally.
Is different. Yeah, that's still different. It's like I'm talking to you because I want something to happen to you. Courtship is saying something has to happen. Like, that's how I look at courtship. You're telling me it has to be this way. Dating intentional means it can go this way, and however way it happens and we achieve this goal is fine. Courtship is like, when I hear courtship, it just means you have to check off a to-do list and task in a certain order to get to a certain destination. When I hear intentional dating, means I'm intentional about what I'm doing, but we're going about this in whatever way to achieve this goal. However it looks, it may happen.
That's what courtship meant back then too, though. Like so my daddy's 65, my grandma's 77, and when I'm with somebody and they meet them or hear of them, the first thing they say, "Oh, y'all courting?"
Yeah, that's
their term.
Yeah, and then
because my daddy don't like when I say my dude. He don't like when I say that. He be like, that's funny. That sounds funny to him, but he understands it's progressive.
But
so is courtship even necessary after 30 in your opinion?
No, because I feel like we're already intentional dating. So
no, we not.
I mean, I know. Well,
you done heard the episodes. You've been here for all of them. You know, people is not intentionally dating automatic.
I know. Well, me for sure that it's intentional.
But every woman doesn't know that meeting you from the jump. You know what I mean?
The ones that meet me.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Know. Like if you're walking around, right? There is nothing. You don't have a disclaimer. You don't have a shirt. Nothing says I'm intentionally dating. Nobody knows that. And then again, there are women like me who I can sell water to a fish. So what a dude say don't mean absolutely nothing to me. I go off of what I see. So exactly. So it doesn't. You can say that all day. There are people who say that because that's the word. Just like accountability is a new word. What's the other word? Sassy. Like it's different words that are now just words and trending. So people just saying stuff to be in the know and have no idea what these things mean and don't exhibit those behaviors. So you can't automatically assume everybody after 30 is intentionally dating because we have all attested. You just talked about a lady being 48 and on Fugazi. Everybody doesn't have an intentional dating mindset.
I agree.
So that's why people have to reiterate, hey, look, this is what I'm on. Because again,
especially when so many people are playing games.
Correct.
So if I'm treating you like everyone else is sitting up here not, being intentional or the courtship, it's just another title that we talked about last time, Forever a Fairy Tale. What does this look like? And for me, being over 30 doesn't mean I need less effort. It means I need more intention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I feel like that when you're like, I don't know. I feel like when women who use the word courtship and whatever, I feel like they have just a perceived reality of how it should go. So they're living in fairy tale because they feel like if it doesn't go this way, then you're not courting me. I feel like somebody who's intentional dating doesn't see a conventional path of how it should go. They just know the end result has to be this because that's what you want.
So you think women want you outside the window in the rain singing like the Temps? I wish I could grab one of the Temps and ask them.
No, that's not it.
Because that was courting.
And maybe
that wasn't courting. That was somebody being mad at somebody trying to make them feel better. Like, that's what I'm saying.
What?
Like,
you all right?
Yes, if you stand outside the window singing, I don't believe that was courting.
They literally used to, when a man liked the woman, especially, did you see the movie?
Mm-hmm.
When he wanted to date Josephine, that boy had his boys pulled up and they did a 1-2 doo-wop at her door with her mama on the porch. And that's how he asked, can he date Josephine? That was the thing.
Okay.
Back then.
And times have evolved since then, so that looks differently.
Facts.
It looks differently, but the intent is still the same.
The intent was still
so
there.
Me sending you a song is
he too literal. That's what it is.
No, I'm asking you a question. No, my thing is
but that's how it was during that time.
I know
because back in the
very
day,
time.
you would have had to ask someone's permission to court their daughter or date their daughter.
That's those
but
times.
that's not and that's what I'm getting at.
And, that's
and
why I
as
feel like
time
courtship is
has
dead.
and as time has moved on, people have gotten away from that. So courtship looks differently.
Yes.
And what's the problem with that?
I feel like it looks differently for those who use the word intentional dating, and that's why they took out the word courtship. And I feel like those who still use the word courtship, it does not look different. They still have those old school values. Maybe that's what it is.
And maybe that's
people who use the word courtship and stuff like that. They have that old school mentality of how they feel like their love should happen. People who use the word intentional dating, they have more of a broader look of understanding that love can come in in whatever way it comes in. It doesn't have to be you asking my daddy to talk to me and you going here and, you know, the church blessing the relationship and all this. Like, you don't have to have that. You know that it will happen and
fine.
we can get married in whatever way it happens.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
So, with that being said, that's means
not courtship.
You're equating courtship, like Nick said, to the fairy tale that you stated in the episode you live in. So you was amongst your tribe and missed it. Long story short,
It's still different.
Checkmate.
It's still not. It's still two different things.
It's not, sugar. You said they on the old school way of things, and you out here waiting on Rapunzel to come ask you to get out the tower.
And at the end of the day, each pot has a lid.
Yeah.
So they may not be your assignment.
Exactly.
And that's okay. But for you to get all aggy and ready to stump and stuff, that's fine. Because there are some men who still believe in that old school way of thinking.
Yeah.
And they will court them the way that they are asking them and not have a problem with it. Why? Because they see that that's who they want to be with. So they're going to, I'm not even say conform. They may be on the same type of time. That's okay.
And happy.
Those women are not your tribe.
At all.
And that's okay.
You use the word court around me. I do not like you or respect you.
That's so far. That's too far.
But no, the word courtship, any of that. I know for a fact if a woman says, if I just see the word or anything around it, it's automatically turn off for me.
All right. So what happens when you got to go to court? You get mad at the judge because you went in court.
No, I don't go to court no more.
I just want to see how far the word went.
No, I don't go to court no more, so they don't even bother me.
Good. Love that for you.
Yeah, it's literally just in the term of it. It's so old school.
So will you like a woman to court you?
No, like I don't want the word court to be any of that. I want you to like me and I like you.
So
and that
would you like a
develops into
woman to
something.
date you?
Intentionally?
Nope, you don't even have to date me intentionally. You can just like me and we can fall in love. Like there doesn't.
So
have
you want
to
to play? You want me to play with you?
You're not playing with me. Life is not determined on how you make something happen. Life is
Listen
happens.
to what we ask, because again, you are coming from an angered space.
No,
I'm
I'm
about to put
coming
my
from a
therapist hat
literal
on.
space.
You are definitely
You are
raising
angered.
the
You are
decibels of your
angered,
voice.
sugar. Your non-verbal communication is very tense. Ain't no way you still feeling yellow. You black, red.
You're
Gray.
raising your decibels and amplifying your voice. So you're definitely
Yes.
coming from a different way when we're just asking
We
questions.
asking questions
Maybe
so we
I'm
can
trying to make sure
understand.
my point gets
Your
understood.
point, it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, hey, you feel how you feel.
Correct.
And please, let's get this understood. I'm not here to change your way of thinking.
I know.
If if that's how you feel, once we hit stop on this record button, then that's your life, and that's okay.
Because guess what? Neither one of us are dating you. So you do what you do.
You somebody else's problem, baby. Like the
Thank you,
the
Lord.
old folks
Lord,
say.
I just want to thank you for making him my brother. Praise the Lord. Because you
I'm
know I
everybody's
would have been in an
problem.
orange suit. Because
Everybody's
wait, but the reason we're saying that you're angered, because I literally just asked. Nick asked, do you want a woman to cut you? No. And then I backed down and said, so you don't want a woman to date you intentionally? No. Yes, you do. You do want a woman to date you with intent. You don't want a woman out here playing with you, because then I'm going to show up and have to fight her.
And then
So-
you have to ask the question, if she's not dating you intentionally and you don't have the conversation, you're confused because at that point, you're putting in all this effort and you're not knowing if what you're doing is, it's not ROI. Huh?
I know from the jump what I am to everybody. I'm a very intuitive person. Every person that I've ever dated will tell you that that's one reason they don't like me, is because they can't hide their feelings from me. They
And
can't
that's
hide
Okay,
one
let's
reason
try a
you don't
different
like
word.
them.
Let's try a different word.
Go ahead.
Reciprocation. How do you feel about that?
No, that's the only thing I desire. So
Boom.
that's literally, that's my whole thing, reciprocation. Like that's why I can't even date somebody who tells me to court them, because 9 out of 10 they're not even a receptive person. And I'm not saying that they not. I said 9 out of 10 they're not, because they expect stuff. When you say court me, you expect stuff to go your way, plain and simple.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate with that scenario. If you were to take the meaning of that back in that time period, right? and the men did all the things that you're saying these women are trying to make you do, the women held it down.
They don't hold it down today.
Hold on. We're speaking specifically of that demographic of women, which is what you have an issue with. So don't say that you won't get your return, because them women were dumb. They took the babies, the extra women, the whole shebang. So I'm just saying, them women was a whole different type of no limit soldier. But the question posed was, what does that look like in your 20s versus now? So what does this say? It was unanimous 20s and 30s. It was the same.
Yes, in my 20s especially. You trying to tell me to court you, girl? Get out of here.
Well, so
and I just feel like every girl that wants to be courted just really wants dates. Like,
they're serial daters. Is what
yes,
you're saying.
they're very serial daters. Like, that's what I get from girls who be like, "Oh, you got to court me." Like, they're the most serial daters out of everybody. Like, they got a date lined up for every weekend with different dudes because they're trying to get courted, and to court them, you have to take them there. And you have
but
to
if
take
they're
them to
single,
do this.
that's what they can do.
Yeah, that you can, but I don't take you seriously because you're like, you're just dating. Like, you're out here, you say you're intentional, but you're intentional with everybody. That's why courtship
They're
and stuff
not intentional with everybody.
Those type of women have moved the goalposts.
Yeah.
And that's not the type. That's not what I'm discussing when I mean
that's even a girl who
courtship.
sent me that. Like, she's a serial dater. This girl,
Again,
Well, let's leave her out because we're not talking about her.
Because
this
but
ain't for
even
her.
she changed the meaning. Then if that's what she's doing, then she's changed the meaning of actual
meaning.
courtship too.
yeah.
So a courtship is actual intentional. Like, we read the definition 3 times at this point.
Girl.
So
I was about to say
it's
Spanish,
very
but you gotta
intentional.
pay for
It's very courtship is typically one person. It's not multiple dating. At that point, she's just dating.
Exactly.
And if she's looking for men to treat her a certain way than dating, that's not courtship.
Right.
But that's the
Courtship is intending on marriage.
I read
So
it.
if she's dating 5 different people and she wants 5 different men to take her out, she's not even courting properly. So it's not a man-woman thing. And that's the point that we're trying to get back around to. But if you stop being so angry and listen to us, you would see that we weren't making it a man thing, agenda. Because women can be out of order too. So let's be clear.
yes.
If that's what she's doing and she want all of these men to court her, she's not even doing it right.
Correct.
Courtship is typically when you have that one conversation with one person and y'all do the things y'all together. It's another word of dating intentionally, because both of you guys know at the end of this courtship, marriage is involved. And there's nothing wrong with that. It should be. That's the intention. Now, if that doesn't happen, life comes at you fast. Okay, cool. However, you're intending on and you're doing the things and putting things in place for the end goal to be marriage.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe, you know what? That's it. Maybe that's why I don't like it, because
By George, you had an
no,
epiphany.
yeah, I did, because
I saw it on your face. It was
because
like,
I feel like if you telling me to court you, that means I'm going to take you serious, right? So if I'm doing this to take you serious and I feel like you're dating other people and you're doing all this, then why am I courting you? Like,
so that's
what
the
is
conversation,
point?
and
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to get you
And
to see.
that's why
So
I
don't
feel-
be mad
and I
at the
feel-
work.
You almost there. You almost there.
And I feel like every girl who's ever asked me that,
You're almost there.
why. Because you're asking me to take you seriously and talk to you one-on-one because you want something, but you don't want that just with me. You want that with everybody.
Come on.
So that's why I have a problem with it.
There you go.
Welcome back.
We just had to talk you. We just had to talk you through it. That's okay.
Hey, that's what it is.
And you're
That's
not
why I
wrong
have
for
a
feeling
problem.
that
And that's
way.
what we keep trying to tell you. No,
Okay,
we're not
no.
mad at you.
Yeah.
You right. I'm happy you got standards. I want you to, please.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so
However.
and that's your counter. All right, boom. You want me to XYZ? Guess what? If I'm finna XYZ, you're not finna play with me, lady.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just me and you. And if there can't be that, I wish you well. And that's that. And you go on about your life. Sugar her lost.
You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's
as
what it is.
yeah, it's just y'all. This is the first time we got it in an episode. You should take 3 hell in an offline conversation.
I'm sweating. My God, today.
Well, that's what it is.
I'm proud of
man.
you.
Yeah.
Shut the door. Y'all shut the door. Y'all got $20. Close the door.
The doors of the church open. It's that one.
Yes, there. One. Now shut them doors. Shut them doors.
Just, all right.
Yeah.
Lock them. Lock the
But
doors.
see, in my 20s, I was already married.
Yeah.
And so the circle we were in, most of us were married in our 20s. We had a different upbringing in that realm. That was like the goal, because, and you could probably attest, this is in the conversation of by this age, this needs to be done. And by, that's when people start stressing themselves out. And so I'm glad that we do have this platform to show, hey, 30, 40, you're still learning, you're still getting things figured out. And so that goes back to when I became a certain age that I expected my mom to have it together. I understood why she didn't. I'm like, dang, we got to get a lady some more grace. We gave her hell. You know, she's swinging it. Because to us, it's old. You know, like my baby tell me all the time, when you 40, you old.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. I can't wait till she get 40.
That's the only time you'll realize it ain't.
Correct.
That's
Because 35, I was like, wait a minute, this is nice. I had a new win. So, yeah.
I'm scared to do a deeper dive because we finally got him where we need him to be. So
we're going to leave it alone. We are done. You got any words?
We're going to stick
you
the fork in
about the
it.
courtship, or you good?
No, we got a 30 plus therapy that we're about to get into. But, yeah, we're going to stick a fork in that one. It came out clean. So we're going to leave it alone at this point.
It's done.
Pull it on the counter, let it cool. All right. So we also have a 30 plus therapy question where people are trusting us with their lives and situations they're going through and allow us to give our opinions on it. As I say every time we do this, we're not licensed therapists, but we're going to give you the best that we got, like Anita Baker. So here we go.
Hey, so my question is, why do women 35 and older feel like there's a time clock on when they should be trying to find potentials for lasting relationships and marriage compared to men 35 to 40 and they still living like they're in their 20s and they're not ready to do anything different? Like, why are we having to feel like we have to rush, and yet they can still just live and, if I find it, I'll put a ring on it? But we actually have to be more vulnerable and put ourselves out there to even be seen, to know if they are or we are even a potential for each other, if that makes sense.
That made sense, sis. That made excellent sense.
You want to summarize her question?
Yeah, you got lost. I saw you. I got your IEP loading.
I'm asking you.
All right. So what she's saying is, why is basically, I just touched on that, a stigma for women to aspire to be married or serious at a certain age, and men don't have that. We're taught as women that a man is a man and they'll figure it out. Let them mature. They gotta mature. Like, we don't have to mature.
Y'all mature faster.
Bull. That don't make it right. and I'm grateful that I have both daughters and sons, because what I imply with one gender, I apply with the other. Like, I teach my boys are so passive, but them girls, y'all know they're a little rough. And so I teach them, when you're hitting a man, be expect to get hit. Don't call me. Keep your hands to yourself. It's not funny. It's not cool. I don't care if it's your brother, your homeboy, your sister, partner down the street, your cousin. Keep your hands to yourself, because you're going to create a bigger problem than you have to. As far as me growing up in a household of men on both sides, I can honestly, truly say they were never taught to be okay in ABS. Neither parent let them live. And my daddy was a rolling stone. I got a sibling and we 11 months apart. I don't know if maybe he learned from that. I don't know where it came from, but he was like, no, like, my brothers, you couldn't have multiple women playing with my daddy. My daddy ain't play that. He didn't think that was cute.
I think the question more so is the age range, because I think a lot of times people have that thing, like, and it's true. Women feel like their shot clock is winding down at a certain age, and they feel like, okay, I got to do this, 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 and this. And men really don't have that same shot clock. I think that's kind of where she was going with it, because realistically, a lot of men, if they get past a certain age, men success level increases with age.
Yep.
So a lot of time when men have money, they can afford to go deal with a 20-year-old. But and a lot of times that kids play a factor with that. Like, if you want a family, and a lot of times women after 35, it gets a little more difficult, if possible at all. When men don't have that same type of time, they can have a baby at 80.
True.
So I think that women have this certain urge of, okay, I got to hurry up and settle down. Got to hurry up and settle down. When men don't live by that same ideology, because theoretically they don't have to. Although it'd be cute for them to, a lot of times they don't. From maturity level is different. From their financial and success level, it kind of is different. So that sense of urgency that they have. And then I think what irritates women is because when they do get old and they want to sit down and they done played, we don't even want you at that
What'd you
point.
say, person nurse?
You become a person, a nurse, or a person or a nurse, and sometimes two things can be true. So I think that's what irritates and frustrates us as women, because I'm like, okay, you don't sit up here and played, and you don't gave your good years to the streets.
Yep.
And now you want to sit down with us, and now we don't even want you. I think times are kind of changing now, where women are still on that same kind of time. They're working more, they're making more money, and looking at you now like, well, I don't want you either. Like, you done sit up there and gave your time to the streets, and now you 50, 60 years old. Now you talking about marriage? Think about all the people who are talking about marriage now, even as from a celebrity standpoint. Yeah. Almost 60 years old.
Try it. Yep. Talk, Nick.
You in your 50s coming. Really? You done had all these women, and not one of them you saw a wife in?
Well, they didn't see a husband in him, but that's
well, touche. Two things can be true. Even, you know,
Sister Badu to the front.
I mean, but think of all these celebrities who are having kids in their 50s.
Yeah,
Janet. With these younger women. Now I'm talking about the men.
Oh, the men.
I'm talking like the Mike Epps. I'm talking about the people who want children. The David Banners who's talking about marriage at 50.
Boosie. Boosie just had a baby shower.
But Boosie, he's exception to the rule, because Boosie he started young too. But I'm talking about these successful men who legit went all this time, and I'm sure came across some woman that they probably could have seen forever with, for some reason or another didn't. Now they're in their 50s, and now they can't look at a 40-year-old, a 45-year-old, because she's looking at you like,
bye.
I'd have did that. I'm not trying to do that. And so now you got to go to the 20-year-olds. So I think that's what the difference is. That to me, that's just the difference between.
I mean, it's a mix of those.
Yeah. I mean, but Mike, you the man, so what do you think?
Yeah, because we need you. We waiting on you to chime in.
It's definitely a mix of what Nika said. I just feel like when men 35 and up, that's when they're starting to see their success. That's when they're starting to come into them as who they are. And I feel like once you start reaching that point and you've been doing it all by yourself, you feel like, why would I want to settle down and give everything I didn't achieve to somebody else? I think that started being a play, and it's like, with women, they do have a time. I don't feel like they do. They feel like they have that time and that rush, because as they get older, you know, they're supposed to have already had kids or already been married. So it's more of a clock in their head because of what society and the life tells you should have been done. That's why they feel like that. I feel like men don't have that same pressure, again, because they are just now getting everything that they were been told that they're supposed to have. So they're not in a rush to settle down, because now I finally have all the money to go on all these dates, and I don't want to just do it with this one person, or, you know, or maybe I'm building, you know, everything that I want for myself that the woman over there told me that I had to have before I could even settle down with her. Like, you don't even have this or you don't have that. So I went out here and got it by myself. So now it's like, why would I want to settle down with you or anybody when you didn't even accept me when I didn't have nothing? So I feel like when it comes to men, they don't be in a rush, and they don't care once they get after 35, because they know they can just go buy whatever they want, because they got the money. Like, and let's be real, you literally can buy any, I don't want to say any woman, but
you can.
There's a price.
Most
like,
of them.
if you have that amount of money, you can buy a woman. So that's why, I will just go get a younger one. At least she gonna look like I want her to look. She's not gonna talk too much talking, and all I gotta do is give her money, and she gonna do whatever I say. So once you hit over there men don't care about that, because we know that we can just buy whatever we want at that point. So when you catch us when it's young, it's because we want to be loved and built up with somebody. But if you don't have that once you reach a certain age, or if you never had that, it's no longer appealing to you. It's like, why would I do it now when I wanted that when I had nothing? Now I got everything. Why would I want to, you don't want the same things, because at the end of the day, women want a successful man. So if you have money and everything, you can buy whoever you want, and you can get every woman, because that's what they want now. So I feel like your options are so open to the point of marriage makes no sense. It's like, why would I get married now while I'm older and I can talk to younger? And I mean, you could talk to I could talk to older too, but they want somebody younger, just because you don't have to deal with them nagging, talking, any of that. Marriage doesn't matter at that point. And once you do get to 50 and something like that, then it's like, just because you're tired of spending your money on women. So now it's like, okay, well, I'm tired of spending all my money on all these different women, and it's like, let me just settle down with one. And it's not that. I mean, I feel like every man or even woman hopes that they can find somebody they can fall in love with and marry, but I feel like the older you get, everybody start having these preconceived rules on how love should have been or how your life should have went. To once you get those ages, people try to tell you don't deserve it anymore. Because why can't I be 50 and want a wife? Why don't I deserve that at that age? Why is that a problem? Because now I'm at this age and that's what I want. People want different things at different times. Everybody's life is not the same. Nobody's life and timeline is the same. So if I hit 50 and now I want a wife because I'm like, I've did my young life. I've done that. I haven't done a married life. Let me try that. Let me see if that's what I want. It shouldn't matter if I'm 50 or 20. If that's the life I want to try, that's the life I want to try.
I don't think it's that you're not deserving. I think a lot of times most women take it as you done played in all these women's faces through all this time. And now that you about this time for you to check out, because at that point you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Jim Jones.
What does that matter?
Jim Jones.
But what does that matter?
Not to say you don't deserve love. However, is what I'm saying. The timeline looks different. And this is what I'm saying, why women feel that way. Because most women, we know what the end game is. You know the companionship. You know you want somebody by your side. Mm-hmm. Whether you 20, 30, 40, 50. That doesn't matter.
Men know that too.
Yeah. But the way that they pursue it is different.
Yeah. That's because once you're in a certain age and you're trying to pursue it and it's not working out because, I don't know, you're meeting the wrong type of women. You haven't met the one, because I've dated, I don't know how many women. There's only been one woman that I've proposed to, and I didn't want to marry her once I rethought about it, and I'm glad we didn't get married. But out of all the women I've dated, there's not one woman that I feel like this could have been my wife or was supposed to be my wife. Like, whatever happened. Like, I can't force them to want to marry me. They didn't accept me for who I was, and I didn't like them for who they are, so it didn't work. So yes, I've been out here, but it's not because I didn't lack of trying. The fact that I dated all these women is to show I'm trying. It's just that none of them were wife material. I mean, I wouldn't even say they're not wife material. We just didn't work.
They're not your wife.
Yeah, they're not my wife, because we would have been married if it was like. Obviously, none of them work. So if I'm 50 when I get married, that's because all my life I could never meet a woman that we were on the same page to be together for the rest of our life.
That's your story. That's not a lot of people's story.
She's talking about the men that you, for the most part, you date intentional. For the most part. But
I'm just saying, regardless, even if it's not me, it just could be any man.
It could be luck of the draw that you just didn't meet your wife until you was 50. Exactly. And that's fine.
She's
that's not what we're talking about.
That's playing for real. Like
there's some men out here that are legit playing.
That's what she means. All the way up until 50.
Which gives women, again, especially if because there's at the end of the day a biological clock. Mm-hmm. A woman is born with as many eggs she gonna have throughout her entire lifetime. Yeah. So at a certain time, if you didn't have kids or you haven't had kids, that's one thing. And then you meet, there's a lot of guys over the age of 40 who don't have kids because they focused on career. And then at that point, once they get to the epitome of, okay, now I'm ready for a family, the 35-year and up woman doesn't sound so as enticing, especially if you want a family. Yeah. Because at 35, who's to say they even want a family at that point as far as kids? Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So a lot of times they'll start dealing with a younger woman. So which means some of these women are aging out too in that regard, and you have to deal with a certain.
And that's why they have that clock, because they feel like they're aging out.
That's the problem, and that's what she was asking.
Yeah, women give themselves that problem. They feel like they're aging out. And I think that's the problem. You're making yourself feel like you're aging yourself out because you feel like you should have done something at a certain time instead of realizing it just wasn't meant for you, and it'll happen when it does. Like, you're not aging out. You're putting you're putting a worldly thing on your own self, and that's, I think, a lot of people don't understand about me. I don't believe in worldly rules and laws. That's why I don't listen to nobody. That's why I do the opposite of anything, because I feel like, why does their or anybody else thing matters more than yours or mine?
So your advice to her is to remove the box.
Yes, remove yourself from feeling like, because I'm this age, something's supposed to happen. Nothing's supposed to happen, no way. And everybody make you feel like it is. And that's my problem with the world. People feel like if it's not this, or if it doesn't this, or it's not that, then it's not. And that's not true. Everybody has their own story and made their own way by the way that they did it. And people try to make it seem like if you're not doing it the way you did, it's not going to work. But if you go look at it, nobody has ever done the same thing twice and it worked. It doesn't matter who you are, living in the same household, you and your parents, you don't even have the same parent that your other sibling has. Your 4 kids look at you in 4 different views.
Yes,
you are 4 different moms.
I am.
Like, you're not one mom. People don't understand that. Mm-hmm. So to say that, oh, well, this is that, nothing is nothing. That is my thing that I try to get across the world. Like, no one could ever put me in a box because there is no box. There's a metaphorical box that you made for yourself and that you're trying to put on somebody else. But I don't live by those rules, and you shouldn't either. So you should not make yourself feel like you're aging out of life because you're 35. You should not be in no rush. I think the problem is women feel like they can't be married old. You can. Right. You make yourself old. Like 35 not old, 40 not old, 45 not old. You know what's old? 90. That's right. Old. Like, that's old to me. Like 75 is not old to me. 80, 90, that's old.
Right.
Once you got wrinkles and you know old. 40s, 50s, 60s, you can get married in those ages and still live 20 more, 25 more good years married to somebody.
And the love is still beautiful.
Yeah, and the love will still be beautiful because y'all grown. Like, so I never wanted to be old past the age of 50. But one thing I do know is if I got married at 50, I still would be happy. And in my head, we still got 40 years to go. Like,
you're going to turn up.
Like, so that's why 20. I don't put
hopefully at least 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least. No, if I marry somebody, I already know for a fact that they won't be no less than 4 or 5 years younger than me. Like 4 is really probably the max. So
that's good.
That's why it's like I'm not gonna be 50 and marry no 25-year-old. Like I'm not gonna be 50 and marry no 30-year-old. No, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't. I just couldn't. But that's what I'm saying. I'm going to marry somebody around my age regardless. So that's what I'm saying. You don't age out. And I feel like only men who talk to younger women is because they grew up not being able to talk to the type of women that they want to talk to. So once they get older, they talk and buy every woman. I've talked to every type of women. So I don't have to worry about me wanting to buy a younger girl. I can talk to a young girl right now if I want to, and I don't like it. Like, so I don't perceive those type of notions. Like I know I could not marry somebody 10 years younger than me. I know that for a fact. That's not what I would want. I want somebody that grew up in my era. I would never look at a woman like she's too old. No, I would talk to older. It has nothing to do with age. It has something to do with the person. And if you listen to my boy R. Kelly, which it kind of threw him away, but age ain't really but nothing but a number, but it is a number. Like
no, don't use that.
That's not a good example.
That's not a good example.
But it is a number.
Because he wrote that for a whole different intention.
Exactly. But my intention is it's still a number. Like, people say that, but no, it's still a number, and it equates to mental something. Like, because I don't understand how you 50 and you really think you got something in common with somebody that's 20 years old. Let's be real.
That's a whole other set of problems.
Right.
No, that's legit a whole other set of problems that we ain't even going to tap into today. But just know that anytime, at any age, it's still beautiful.
It is.
Having a baby at 40 is beautiful. Getting married at 45 is beautiful.
Yes.
Starting a new career at 50 is still beautiful. Getting a house at 60 is beautiful. So the pressure that you're putting on yourself. So remove that pressure from yourself and just live life, because everything's going to happen to you in a way it's supposed to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Exactly. I just had to advertise, so Who child? Okay, that was a good one. Courtship after 30 is not as simple as it used to be, but one thing's for sure: we all deserve intentional love, however that looks for us. Make sure you're following the 30 Plus podcast on all social media. Make sure you're catching the live episode recap, especially on YouTube, where you can actually join the conversation and let us know if you agree with us or disagree with us. That's two things can be true. 30 Plus Therapy, submitted at the 30 Plus podcast at gmail.com or submitted to one of our social medias. We will get it, and you may be part of our next episode. So thanks for tuning into 30 Plus podcast, where we talk love, life, and lessons after 30. If this episode hit home, share it with your friends. Leave a review. Let us keep the conversation going on social media. We always want to hear your thoughts. And like we like to say every episode, be good. And if you can't be good, at least be good at it. See you when we see ya.
Peace.
Get your hands up, to the floor.